one time growing up, and the woman was pregnant, heavily pregnant. Now, the man was a womanizer. When they packed into the house the first time, he came with a woman. I thought that woman was his wife. Came to see the place. So, another day, only that woman came, and he was looking for the guy or the man. And I was like, your husband is around. She said, okay. She left. So when the man came, I said, your wife came to look for you. The man was a bit shocked because he had not really brought his real wife to see the apartment. But he was a bit confused. So later on, I now discovered that those women that were different women came, but that was not the wife of the man. The woman came. So I said, this is the woman. Had plenty of children. The man was very fertile. There's the man. Wake up.
You have to emphasize that.
Yes.
Was very fertile.
So the woman took in again.
So they moved in now?
Yes.
Okay.
The woman took in again. And he will be shouting at her. You have not still cooked? And the woman was like, baby, because she was heavy. He said, now Jesus, you are born. And the woman was afraid of the man. Because some men were trained to control and not lead. Because a lot of people don't know the difference between leadership and being in charge. In charge of the woman, in charge of all the children. So it's a topic that we want to dig in today. Are men of our generation trained to lead, or they're just trained to control? I am the man of this house. What I say must stand. Stuff like that. So with that, welcome to another episode of Vybez Values. I'm Brian Jeremiah, and I'm here with my beautiful host, always looking fly, always looking dope.
Hi guys, I'm Joe Pepper. Welcome to another episode, like he said. So I feel like we should just dive right in.
Jump in, they know who you are, they know who I am.
Yes, let's just, get it started.
So what do you think about this whole thing?
I feel like before, men were not necessarily trained to lead.
Okay.
I won't put it conclusively like all homes, because I believe different homes, like different strokes for different folks. But from what we had, speaking based on my childhood, I feel like it was more of control. That man being in charge of what's going on, that man being the only authority in that home. So it's like, the woman does not have a say. Now, she's not the final authority. No, there's a difference between, this person has final authority and this person has authority. So I think that men were not necessarily trained to lead. So I feel like that brings us to the question, as we're talking about this topic, what really is leadership? What is leadership? What is control? How do you think parents raise men? Because I feel this is men-centered, right?
Yeah.
Or is it both?
It's both ways, but like I will always say, God is the founder of the institution called marriage. And he has already given a hierarchy. There's a defined hierarchy according to scripture. For Christians, the man is the head of the woman as it relates to marriage. Right. So, what's leadership? Leadership is having a vision, casting a vision for your team, for your subordinates or your partners, to say this is where we are going, this is the future, and inspiring them to run with you. And it starts from the dating process. Because if the woman does not see the vision, does not know where you're going, I don't think you guys should be doing anything together. But now you have cast the vision. You showed her this is where your life is going, and this is what we are going to be doing. And are you game? I want a woman that can walk with me and what you showed her looks like what God showed her.
So let's break it down.
Yeah.
So anybody can understand this conversation.
Okay.
When you're talking about leadership in a home,
Yeah.
let's focus on the male gender.
Okay.
What is literally leadership? How do you teach someone to lead? Because
Okay.
we're talking about how are men really trained to lead or control? So break it down for anybody to understand.
When you
How do
hear
you?
when you hear lead means there is a direction. There is a direction. I've seen homes where the man and the woman just procreate, children everywhere. There is no pattern. The man is not, because if I want to influence my child, I'm influencing my child onto something. You've watched the Godfather. I don't know if you've watched that movie. The Don himself, he's influencing his children to into the towards the direction of the family business.
Okay.
There was so they were, well, I would use the word gangsters now. They were, mafia. It was a mafia group. But if you are a member of this family, there's a way you behave. You know that there's a way, because there is something the man is looking at. As a man, you want to start a home. What are you looking at? That you want your children to pattern after, and also your wife, because it is the direction you set that the woman can now influence the kids. They say this is where we are going as a team. Like I think that's basic enough. Leadership is about having a point or a direction or a destination in your head as a man to say, okay, I want this family to have I want us to have a business, a name.
So I feel like we're talking in that aspect as a person,
Mm,
business aside.
mm.
Can you train a child, or can you deposit? What is it you're depositing?
Yes.
Not like telling a child, okay, this is where we're going. Because we talked about control, how it's possible that a man does not take advice or want to hear anybody else's opinion. It's just his own opinion that matters.
Yeah.
We're talking, what is that thing that you imbibe in that child that causes the child to not control but
yes,
lead?
yes. So it is the direction that determines what you imbibe in the child. It's what you want your family to be known for. Like I talked about the Godfather.
Devon?
You want the family to be feared. So you don't want to raise a weak child. You put ideas into the child's head because there's a pattern you are molding them into. So every conversation he has with them is towards building them into a certain kind of people. That's leadership. That's leadership. You influence them to think a certain way because you already know where you want them to go. Now, it doesn't mean you force them. You influence them to, first of all, love what you stand for as a man. Who are you as a man? The values you hold. Because kids and your wife, they see you when you've stripped off those societal garments that you wear that make people respect you. When you're outside, you speak Queen's English. You're like, I'm a man of my word. I'm a man of this, and they're like, you look at this big liar. This one that will say this, and tomorrow is. Do you understand? Your children see you. Do you understand? So, how do you lead your family? It starts with what kind of family do you want to have? What values do you want to imbibe in them? So that when they say the Opeyemi family, that family is a family of integrity. All the children behave a certain way because the man had a mindset.
So I think what I'm hearing
Yeah.
are different values instilled in a person.
So the values you instilled is depending on the vision of the man.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, depending on the vision of the man. There are homes you don't drink alcohol.
Yeah.
If you say don't drink alcohol in my house, you as the man cannot be drinking alcohol. Because children don't just listen to what you say.
See,
They do what you do.
you.
So they look at you. So how do you lead? You lead by influence.
In those days, you think this was how it was? Because I feel now parents are being very intentional about how they raise their kids. But I feel before, it was not really like
So
that.
before, most of our parents are just provide. just provide. As long as I can pay your school fees, as long as I can feed,
There's roof over your
roof over your head, that's cool. So hopefully, like my parents, I appreciate them. One of the things that they kept in our family is spirituality. We did morning devotion every morning. I wonder how my dad was able to do it for every morning. We'll be snoring. Oh, good morning, Jesus. But every one of my siblings have a relationship with God growing up. So even when my dad was no more and we're all in different places, that testimony is we serve God. And you're like, oh, is it because we just chose to serve God? No. We were raised up that way. So I think every man should have a desire to say, this is how I want this my family to be. So you have to modeling it. Because your wife is watching. Like my MD told me one time, he said, if you are shouting all the time as a man, your wife will soon copy it. Every time you are shouting in the house, you will soon start shouting for the kids. Because unconsciously they learn from you. So, in a nutshell, leadership in the home is more of influence and modeling, not shouting. When you want to lead by shouting, you are trying to control. But when you lead by showing them the habits that you want them to, because as they're seeing you, they see you wake up every morning to pray, every night you're praying. Your kid may not join you, but he's taking note of it. One day, he will pattern himself after you with truth.
So the answer to the question, are men trained to lead?
Well, I can't say for every man. I can't speak for every man. Or for every man, sorry. I can't speak for every man. But I can say that I know some families that the values the parents are putting into them,
Kids.
man, you cannot be outside the house certain time. You can't. Now, at some point, the reason why some men want to control is because they face resistance. I'm talking to her, she's arguing with me because she feels that maybe I'm trying to control her. But the truth of the matter is, before you choose the guy, it's like when a woman says yes to a guy, you are saying yes to a leadership.
His authority.
His authority. If you don't see him as somebody that can lead you, why now? Why stress yourself?
To the man.
So if you don't think he's smart enough to lead you, don't bother. Because he's the one God has placed over you.
But do you agree there are some people that they just control, they don't lead?
Yes, there are people who control.
So always imposing.
Like I was talking about that my neighbor I used to have. My wife is pregnant. He'll come home late at night drunk. You say, why have you? I need food.
And Jesus say, well, what?
Do you get? Because control is oppressive. Control does not consider the next person. Control only considers the pride of the controller. You are thinking about your ego. I said something, she wants to resist it. For what? You are not looking at holistically at the situation. There's a reason why God gave you a wife. There's a perspective that she has that you don't have. Listen. Then if you feel that you understand the perspective, then you can explain yours. Let there be an understanding. Do you understand? That is leadership through modeling and influence. So that the person is not following you out of fear. The person is following you because she wants to, or they want to as kids. Do you understand? But if all you do is command fear, one day they will rebel. Because what fearful leadership will always breed is rebellion.
Okay.
If you corner a rat, let's say you force a rat to a corner, and you'll not see anywhere else to go on to, he will turn on you and jump on you. That's the truth. So I think men of our generation need to understand the difference between control and leadership. Um, influence, leadership by influence, leadership by modeling, leadership by patterning your values before the family goes a long way than just raising your voice. Goes a long way than just raising your voice.
A lot of times you don't even have to speak to
Yeah,
pass a message.
that's a message. You don't have to.
Yeah.
They see it. Let's go. Let's wake up early. You wake up early all the time. The first person you can influence is the woman you married. If you can influence your wife, I think it's easier on the kids.
So I think it's both ways anyway.
So as it relates to leadership for the woman is the head of the children, like direct to the children. So the man, the woman, the children. If I can influence the woman with the same vision, she can pass it on to the kids.
Okay.
Now, it doesn't mean that the kids are not seeing you as a man, but if the woman is in sync with you, it's easier to influence the kids. But if you guys are at loggerheads, the kids will be torn in two. They'll be confused. I watched the Ron Clark story. It's a movie. And the teacher just came to the class and wanted to teach, and he saw that there's a certain class and all teachers were avoided because they were always fighting in that class. Students were arrogant and blah, what was going on? And he then started visiting their families. All the kids had issues at home. All the kids had issues at home. I said, that's why. There was a kid that was always angry. Why? He had a foster father that was beating him all the time. So I think that I know we want to enforce our leadership, but don't you think it's better to model? Don't you think it's better to influence? Work with your spouse. Have an understanding. Have communication. Instead of always reminding her that you are the head. I know there's some women who are stubborn, but I don't know. Joe, are you a stubborn woman? You always make the man say, I'm the head, I'm the head, I'm the head.
So for a man to say he's the head, he should think again. Because before you start asserting authority, it means you don't have authority. A lot of times you don't have to say something. It just happens. Like, you don't have to keep hammering. If you keep hammering that, it means there's a problem. Like, in a relationship, for instance, a lady, you don't have to force a lady to submit. It's just like if you say you're a king, then she's a queen. She's your wife, so she's a queen. So automatically, if you're a good person, if you're doing what you're supposed to do, automatically that person is going to submit to you. But if you always have to remind that person, there's a problem. But that's a topic for another day. Abby, we're rounding this up.
Well, you're rounding it up.
You're not really serious for this our podcast. Okay, guys. As always, we want to hear from you. Share your thoughts in the comments. Kindly like, share, subscribe. Thanks again, Brian, for our outfits as usual. Thank you so much. Please like, share, subscribe, share your thoughts, and until next time, bye for now.